Okay, so we are going to do Italy now. Right, so we'll go ahead and start off by talking about Italy's role in World War II and what you're going to be doing, at least in a Hearts of Iron game setting. So, your role as Italy is to do two things. You are to contest the British Navy in the Mediterranean and try and hold take out the British territories in the Med and Northern Africa. That is your role as Italy. So you are going to be at a disadvantage when it comes to the Royal Navy at the start of the game, but you still have a decently sized navy yourself. You'll have a lot of destroyers, a decent amount of light and heavy cruisers, and a measly amount of battleships. The British, by comparison, will have about 20 battleships, about 6 carriers, double your destroyer count, and a shitload of light cruisers and heavy cruisers. But you have an advantage on subs, because you have a lot more than they do. Well, almost a lot more. Okay, so a UK player will likely try to either have a typical carrier fleet that will be very similar to your own, or they will try and go for a heavier battleship focus fleet instead. So we are going to join. So here's what's going to happen. Germany is going to focus primarily on its air force and its land army, with its naval focus on subs. We are going to be focused entirely on navy and air force, with a lesser focus on an army. So we are essentially going to keep ourselves safe from naval invasions and hold Africa and the islands. We will use the combined might of the German land forces, which will be tank divisions, supported by Italian infantry, with a combined focus of German and Italian air and CAS to take out the African front with the British and the Allies and the Americans when they join. This is only going to be possible, though, if the Italian Navy can dominate and at least control the Med from its perspective. So it is imperative that you, as Italy, get a navy out in time that's competent and cohesive, but also one that can do the job, and you keep it alive. As Italy, your industry is really weak. You have fuck all resources. Like, it's actually pathetic. You have barely any industry whatsoever. If we just look at, like, you barely even get one line of factory. So you're going to be trading a lot with Germany. You're going to have to make do with what you've got. And your fuel situation is literally zero. You actually have no fuel whatsoever. So you're going to be entirely dependent on any and all fuel sources that you can get your hands on. Now, you would think to yourself, alright, well, I can just get the Romanian oil. Here's the thing, though. Romania's oil is going to be eaten up by Germany. We can't afford to take from this. We need to let our Germany player take that oil. So we need to get our oil from other sources. Now, luckily for Italy, in its focus tree, luckily for Italy, the pathway that we are going to be fighting in has some oil in and of itself. Over here. And a lot of it is, well, all of it is pretty much going to the British. So we need to do something about that. So I'll quickly go over Italy's focus tree. So over here is this is your colonies, the colonial side of your focus tree. This here is your industry and research and military parts of it, military research, for part of your focus tree. This is your army part of the focus tree. Here is your air force, and then over here is your navy. This is alternate path, and so is all over here. This is your historical political path down here. So, and then once you get further on, you can go down to either Strengthen Rome or Mir Nostrum. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to focus on the colonial side first. So the first focus that you can do is Ethiopian war logistics. This will add some infrastructure and naval bases in Ethiopia and Eritrea. Somalia and Eritrea, so that our troops down there can get some more supply. We will then establish the Ministry of Africa and unlock the colonial police occupation law. Then we will have a variety of developing the colonies. So we can develop Eritrea for some infrastructure and building slots, and same with the other places. Eritrea can get us 10 oil, and it can get us 20 steel, which will be down here. Now the issue with this is that any resources we get here would need to be sent from this port, from this route, going through the Suez Canal. But the issue is, the Suez Canal is completely controlled by the British. So, and if you read the tooltip, permission type enemy, so when we actually get in war, and armies can pass no, navies can pass no, submarines can pass no, trade can pass no. So we won't be able to get anything go through here whatsoever. I don't even think supply can. So this part of the focus tree for us, at least at the start of the game and later on, is going to be completely useless. The only time, the only point at which we should do these focuses is if we actually have pushed down through Egypt and secured this. The next one is to develop Ethiopia. Now, this one, all these do really is resolve the Ethiopian resistance mission once you conquer Ethiopia and if you directly control it. We don't need to do any of this. We're going to ignore all the Ethiopian stuff. Developing Somaliland. Again, it's practically next to Ethiopia. We can just ignore it. There's nothing for us to do. So develop Eritrea, Ethiopia, and Somaliland are all practically useless, and Eritrea is only really useful for us later on, once we've already blitzed through Africa and are going on a safari. That only leaves us with developing Libya, which is right here. So with Libya, we have a couple extra ones. We can add infrastructure to all the states in Libya. We can add 2 Civs in Benghazi. We can add some extra compliance down here and also infrastructure, which kind of pointless. We can add 1 mil in Tripoli, over here. Or what we can do is we can do something even better, which is do the Petrolibya Society. Now if you look at this one, add a production of 10 oil to Benghazi and 15 oil to Tripoli. And then also unlocks a 100% research bonus for refining techs. And it also gives us a fuel silo and unlocks an industrial concern. Petrolibya Society. Agip, this guy. This one's really good. If we look at it, it gives us an extra 10% fuel per oil, which is amazing considering we're going to be scraping by on oil. We'll get a nice little 10% industrial research bonus speed, and then we will get a massive 25% research speed to fuel refining techs as well. So this is actually really good for us. And this adds a further for production of oil into Benghazi. So we actually will need to do this before we go to war, because this is going to give us our own supply of oil that we don't need Romania for. So that's good for us. We can let Germany take the Romanian oil, and we can just get our oil from down here. Now, there's one problem with this. This is overseas. We don't have a direct land connection with it, which means that if we are to actually get the oil from down here, we need to hold it, but also hold it on land, but then also secure it on the seas as well. If we don't have a dominant naval presence in the Med, and we are getting convoy raided, our trade efficiency will be so bad we actually won't get any of the oil, so it'd just be like we don't have it at all. So we need, that's why it's important for us to have a really powerful navy. So we're going to need to get down to at least here before we go to war. Now, we can actually bypass this focus here, Ethiopian war logistics, by just killing Ethiopia. We don't actually need to do it. There are naval bases down here. There's one there, there's one there, and there's another one here. We don't need to do it. So we're going to save ourselves time and bypass it. We're going to try and go to war and get ready for war for January 1940, ideally, and, well, sorry, August, September 1939, ideally. Realistically, probably 1940 January. At the absolute latest, April or May. Not May, sorry, April or March 1940. That's the absolute latest we will go. So we've got a pretty quick game to go through. Here's the next part of the focus stream. So this is our industry. We'll have Italian highways, which will give us an infrastructure addition of 1 in like 4 different infrastructure states. And then it'll gives every state we have on our mainland an infrastructure construction speed of 25% for a year at the local level, which we will be able to see here as a province modifier. So this is good. Then we'll have a decision to either do the steel industry in Terni or the power plants in Terni. This will increase our mill speed by 2.5%, and this will increase our Civ speed by 5%. This will give us 2 Civs and 8 steel. This will give us 1 Civ. I don't know why you would ever want to do this one over this one. So we're going to do steel industry. This gives us 2 75% research bonuses for synthetic oil and gives us a synthetic refinery in Lazio, which is the Roman one. Yeah, Rome. So, the issue is, though, we need to have researched synthetic oil experiments, this tech here, before we can get it. Once we get that, we'll have a mutually exclusive option of either modernize the Mezzogiorno, I don't know how you pronounce it, or strengthen northern industry. Now, if we compare the two, we will get, let's see, we'll get 1 Civ, some naval bases, and 1 dockyard, 1 mill, and 3 infrastructure in the south. That's pretty bad. Whereas with this one, we will get 1 dockyard, 2 Civs, and a mill, but more importantly, building slots. The reason why building slots is more important than this is because the higher percentage, the more building slots a state has, the bigger the bonus of more building slots you'll get from when you get techs with this max factories in a state. And the more factories in a state that are condensed into one state, the bigger the effect having 100% higher infrastructure will have on speeding up construction of factories. Once we have these two, once we get this, we can increase the Fiat's presence in the south, which will give us a mill and 2 Civs. It's okay, but it requires us doing this, which is ass. So we're not going to do this. We're going to skip out on this. Whereas the northern one will give us Po Valley's metallurgy, which will give us 2 Civs and 20 steel in Piemonte, which is up here. That's going to add 20 onto this, which is going to increase the base value of steel, so we get even more when we get excavation tax. So obviously we're going to go strengthen the northern industry and get this. This is a pretty nice one to get as well. This is the new Industrialization Program. All this does is unlocks unique MIO slots for your MIOs that are unique to Italy. So if we see here, for example, if we wanted to do Beretta as our infantry arms, if we got that focus and then selected this, we would get an extra 10% production output and an extra 10% research speed for when we use this. That's pretty insane. And it's not just that, it applies for other ones as well. For the artillery, it would also apply for aircraft as well. an extra 10% output, and it would also apply for Navy. We would get an extra 10% output. So going for this is pretty nice, but we need 100 factories before we can do it. Okay, and then to the right of this, we can go down two ways. We can either go down railway innovations, which will give us a Civ and a 1.5 year reduction for a train technology, which is negligible. We can do investments in Edison, which will give us 1 aluminium mill and 2 Civs, and also reduce our consumer goods factories factor by 5%, which is good. But then it also gets this one, where we can expand the national universities and get a research slot. So we're obviously going to try and rush down to that one off the start of the game. We're going to go there, and then we're going to try and do these. Then we have Fiocchi Munizioni. I'm not even going to pronounce some of these properly, man, but oh well. This one gives us 2 mills, which is okay. This one is the Brescia small arms industry, giving us another mill and a research bonus for small arms. This is the Milan comms industry, which will add us some radar stations and 100% bonus for radar, which is nice. This is Redirect Alfa Romeo Production. This will give us 2 mills and 2 bonuses for motorized and light aircraft, which is kind of nice. And then we will have a mutually exclusive option down here, where we will either go for keep specialization or increasing production. We are going to... You would pick increased production almost every time. It is not worth losing out on 20% retention for 10% production efficiency, growth and retention, to be honest. I don't think it's really the best. This gives you more cap, which if you watch the Soviets video, you can tell cap is really important. This production efficiency base is minus 4%, which isn't the best, but I mean, we get 20% extra retention. Chances are we will change our lines at some point, so even if we run something like concentrated, having this 20% extra retention is probably better than that. I'm just thinking now, if we did concentrated, we would... You know what? If you do concentrated, which we are going to do, honestly, these aren't... It depends, actually. If you're not going to change your production lines that much, then probably go for specialization, actually. But we will probably change like our artillery and such. So perhaps, honestly, I've changed my mind. It's 50-50. They're both good. It just really depends on what you want to do. Anyway, yeah, we'll move on. Croco's mission. This gives 2 bonuses for aircraft, 75%, and then it gives a 2-year ahead of time penalty reduction and 100% research bonus for jets and rocketry. So that's going to be pretty nice if we want to try and get jet aircraft by, say, like 1943 or something. That would be pretty cool. In fact, yeah, we probably could get jet aircraft for 1943. Say it is 1942, and we have that. It would basically be like us researching it 1 year ahead of time with a research bonus, which will be cut it to about 160 days. So yeah, I mean, we'd get jet aircraft in 1943. There you go. Over here we have Army Primacy, giving us a land doctrine reduction of 50% and 2 mills. And then here we have 3 options to choose from. We can either do the Bandits War, follow Periani's plan, or the preserve army traditions. These do 3 different things. Bandits War is for mobile warfare. This will modify your Regia Escarcito modifier by giving you 5% extra division speed and minus 15% organization loss when moving. It will also give you a guy who gets an extra 10% division speed bonus as your chief of army. It will give you 2 doctrine reductions, and it will give you a motorized and reconnaissance company bonuses as well. It'll give you 150% research bonus for armored cars, which is pointless. And then it will add Bandits War, which will give armored car, motorized and mechanized production costs minus 10%, which is huge. Armored car organization by 10% and armored recon company organization by 10%, which is okay. Now, we're not actually going to do this. We're going to probably do preserve army traditions. But if we look at follow Periani's plan, this will give an army attack factor of 5%, and an army experience gain factor of 20%, and a maximum command power increase multiplier of 20%, and then obviously 2 superior firepower doctrine reductions. Whereas preserve army traditions gives, in my opinion, a much better one, which is 5% division organization, infantry defense of 5%, and division recovery rate of 5%, and then a 75% reduction to grand battle plan. The reason why I say this is better is because this one is giving you flat out just all around division upgrades, whereas this just gives you a slight attack bonus of 5%, and then this one just gives you armored car and motorized and mechanized cost reductions, and your troops are faster. If you actually wanted to make those as actual divisions, you can do that, but we're not going to for the purpose of this video. After this, you will be able to go down your different paths and do some other things. So we have Italian tankettes, which makes our light tanks cheaper and gives us an extra mill and a research model for it. Tankettes and light tanks are terrible, so don't ever do this. Well, do it to get down to the other stuff, but don't actually build them. Focus on mobilization gives us a division defense on core territory of 5%, which is great, and recruitable population of 1.5%. We're really going to need that. Army leaders increases leader experience gain by 10% and increases division speed by 5% as well, which is pretty nice. This will also add on our Achilles Starace. At the very bottom you see there, that is the national spirit. This is going to reduce our division attrition by 4%, which is okay for Africa. Over here we will have our Bersaglieri. Again, I will attempt all these names, but I will butcher them. This gives us a special forces capacity multiplier of 5% and attack and defense modifiers of 3%, which is nice. High command loyalty, this adds a logistics skill to every leader that we have, and it will also add in a spirit called logistics, giving us a supply consumption of -2%, which is pretty good. The new Arditi will give us 2 100% bonuses for shock infantry, which will be down here, and Divisioni Alpine will give us a Mountaineers defense and organization of 3 and 5%, and then a special forces multiplier of 2%, which is really good. This will give our division defense on core territory by 5% again. That's the only really relevant thing here. The militia one is pointless. And then this is, of course, winter training in Finland, which is just kind of whatever. This over here is going to be nice for paratroopers. I'm just reading it now. Yeah, so all it really does is... Okay, the only real benefit of this would be Special Forces capacity multiplier of 2%, and then some Special Forces non-combat out of supply penalties -10%. That's basically it, really. Whereas Super Esquito, Certi, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm just going to call it the army, alright? So this will give us an extra division organization of 5%, org loss by -5, and land doctrine cost of -10 and 50 army XP. We will only be able to do this, though, when we're actually at war with a major country, and we will need to get this in order to get some of these ones down here. So... See, the thing with with Italy is that you get 3 spirits, one for the Regio army, then you get the Regio Aeronautica, which is the Air Force, and the Regio Marina, which is the Navy. You start off with some negatives and some bonuses, but you can turn these negatives into bonuses and add on more bonuses once you start doing the focuses that require you to be at war with a major country. To do them, and then they'll start changing and glowing and as they add on better and better stuff. Self-propelled guns, heavy tank destroyer, light and medium tank destroyers, production cost of -5%. This is actually going to be quite nice. If at some point during a war we want to make dedicated tank destroyer divisions to hold back against allied heavy tank divisions down in Africa, which we likely will face in realistically, then this is actually going to be a very good one to go for. The difference here between these two, this one will modify your military industry spirit, which just gives you tons and tons and tons of negatives at the moment. This will modify it slightly to have better output, of 5% for dockyards and factories. This will basically fix some of the research speeds and give you a lack of resources penalty of -10%, which is pretty nice. Honestly, either or for this. And then the last one is, it just modifies armor by giving you 5% defense and breakthrough, which is kind of negligible, to be honest. So yeah, we're going to go preserve army traditions, and once we are at war we will certainly need to get this one first, and then at some point after that get self-propelled guns so we can start making some tank destroyer divisions. Regia Aeronautica. This one's alright. So it gives you a scout plane model research speed. This doesn't apply to the chassis for airframes on planes, unfortunately. Then after this, you'll get free 50% research bonuses for aircraft. Now this is actually quite cool, because this 50% research speed can be applied for engines free, which is one of the only countries in the game I think it actually that can do that. And then of course you have Super Aereo, which is the exact same as the Super Army one, which you need to be at war with a major before you can get it. Some other bonuses, some 75% research bonuses for planes, and an extra mill. Like most Italian focuses just give you like a military factory, and obviously just modify all the negative modifiers that you have. This standardization, between that and specialization, I would do standardization, because it will give you a 5% production cost to all planes, which is quite nice, and of course the random mill. This Fiat G50, this is going to be quite nice. It's going to give you a -1 year ahead of time penalty and 100% research bonus for small planes. So this means that you can get, with this, you can research the advanced small airframe a lot quicker, which means that you can get to the modern aircraft a lot quicker as well. So keeping that synergy between the Fiat G50 and Crocco's mission. Then there's of course, Supremacy in the Sky, which will add on a bunch of bonuses to that. Expand Rome Flying School, getting rid of some of the debuffs. Naval Coordination. This one will modify the Navy spirit by giving us a 10% extra spotting speed, 5% extra fleet coordination, and 5% naval agility. And it gives us some flying aces as well. Now, the naval one is probably our most important one to go down. So we have a naval power projection. This gives us an event, the Regia Marina's budget question. We are going to keep it as it is. And then we will also get 2 dockyards and a 50% cost reduction for naval doctrine. We will have intensified torpedo manufacturing, which will give us extra convoy raiding efficiency, naval bombing, and also submarine attack by 5%, which is quite nice. And 2 100% research speeds for torpedoes. These over here, but to be honest, these are quite bad, so we're not even going to waste our research on those. It's more so for the stat bonuses. We'll do that later on. OTO naval guns. This will increase our capital ship attack by 5% and give us 2 100 research bonuses for medium batteries and the heavy batteries. So we are going to use these to get. We're going to use these to get our heavy, our improved batteries quicker, and then retrofit them onto 1936 hulls, or we will decide to save them and try and rush down for 1944 batteries instead, if you want to do like a mid-war retrofit. Expand the naval dockyards. This will give us some naval bases and 2 dockyards. We need to do this to get the super marina though. This, of course, this is the one again for that you need to be at war with a major to get. This will increase our recovery rate, strike force, organization loss, and doctrine cost permanently of -10%. This is really good to go for. This over here will just add, funny enough, just give us an artillery research bonus of 100%. Overseas naval bases, I mean, it's as it says, it's an extra naval base and coastal fort on just random African ports. Stockpile fuel. This country is this one's pretty cool actually. We will be going for this before the war. This will give us a army and naval fuel consumption and air fuel consumption, and a fuel silo construction speed of 50% for 730 days, which is about 2 years. And then also give us free fuel silos. We actually are gonna need to stockpile on some fuel. Now you can either get this well ahead of time and build extra fuel silos before you go to war, or what I will likely do is I will actually before I join the war, I will complete this focus so that my army, navy, and air force can get a -15% fuel consumption for the first 2 years of the war, which is quite a long time if you think about it. This over here is going to modify our the Forza Navale Speciale. That is going to modify our Marina, our Navy national spirit by giving us a extra naval invasion capacity of +10, which is quite nice. Naval invasion preparation time goes down by 10%. The invasion speed increases by 2%, and our special forces get an extra 2% capacity modifier. And also, we will get 2 100% research bonuses for marines and transport modules technologies, which is great. And then, as you can read the bottom, if we get strength in Escort Re-Corps and do this focus, we'll get a general. Well, that's just kind of whatever. Okay, once you're at war with a major, you will have 2 options to go down. You will either have to do Cavagnari's plan, which is about screens, lots of screens, and having submarines. So this will give you a screens production cost of -5%, screening efficiency gone up by 5%, and screens max speed -5%. This will also give you a research bonus for light cruisers of 150%, and will add free 75% cost reductions for trade interdiction, which is this doctrine here. He will unlock a research bonus for destroyers, and he will also give you access to either doing cruiser submarines or midget submarines. And then he will also give you naval guerrilla, which will give your navy a speed of 10%, and but will decrease the amount of ships that you get in the first contact of battle by 25%. It'll give you an extra 20% chance to retreat, and your fleet speed while retreating will go up by 10%, and your convoy raiding efficiency will go up by 10% as well. This is pretty nice for submarines, but we're not going to do that. We're going to go with a point Campione. So this guy, he gives us a capital ship's armor of +5%, strike force or gloss of -5%, and gives our capital ships a nice production cost reduction of 5% as well. He will give us 2 free 75% research bonuses for the fleet and being, and will give us a 150% research bonus for heavy cruisers. Now, when it says heavy cruisers and light cruisers, if you have the Man the Guns DLC, it applies to the same hull. Without Man the Guns, light cruisers and heavy cruisers are actually separate ships to go for. Whereas with this DLC, what makes you research the hull, and then what determines it to be a light cruiser or heavy cruiser is actually the armament that you put on, whether it's a light one or a heavy one. We will get a naval intelligence of +10% and decryption of 5% over here. And then this is pretty much just selling some ships to some countries for getting some cost consumer goods factories cost reduction. Under Campioni, we will get access to a 150% research bonus for battleship models, and it will add 2 lines of production for the Littorio class of battleships. Over here, we will have either be able to do proper carriers or refit civilian carriers. Do this proper carriers. It's so much. I would argue that it's better to get the 100% research bonus for 1944 carriers than it is to actually do the refit one. This one gives you a minus deck size of +1, which isn't too bad. It can be offset. Actually, I'm thinking about it now. This might actually be okay. Hear me out. This might be better if you're trying to make lots of carriers, because it will reduce your carrier production cost by -20%. It will reduce the armor by 10%, but you don't really have armor on carriers anyway. And the deck size of +1 is 10 planes, which, if we get a policy of space efficient design, we will get a +1. So this actually can offset that completely. So yeah, so basically, if you're looking at this, do I want to get more carriers for 20% cheaper and have 1 less deck size, or do I want to get a better carrier quicker? I don't know. We'll see. Shift towards an aggressive force. This one is pretty neat as well. Naval hit chance +5%, which is huge. Number of ships in the first contact +10%, and capital ship attack +5%. Now, here's the thing about the Italian naval spirit. It starts off with a bunch of negatives, but it gets some juicy bonuses. If we think of it, right? Our ships will get an extra 10% attack when they attack alongside the pride of the fleet, which, if I can find it, is going to be this ship here, and we can change it, right? When we have so our ships are going to get an extra 10% attack when they fight alongside it. I've just lost it, but yeah, where it was. This will increase our capital ship attack by 5%. This will increase the capital ship attack by 5% as well. We also have a Chief of Navy, which will give us an extra 10% attack as well. And in our military high command, this guy gives us another 10% attack and defense as well. And the defense, by the way, for ship defense is armor. That is insane. We can get some absolutely insane attack bonuses for our navy. So we're going to go heavy on battleships. And of course, this one over here at the bottom, the Flotilla Evasione. This will give us what, 6 dockyards, which is cool, and it will give us 2 admirals. We'll get the random trait bold, which is 10% naval speed and another 5% naval attack. We're going to get some insane naval bonuses from our tree. And it's very similar with the Air Force and the Army ones too. When you add them all up, they make for some insane bonuses. Here we can go down and get an extra research slot, but we'll need to be at war with the Allies and then also get down here as well. So it'll be quite a while before we get that. Right, not too long left, I promise. So now we have our political tree. Now I'll be honest, the political tree we don't really need to actually do too much of. It's not as important as other countries, to be honest. We will get this one automatically by taking over Ethiopia. We can get this one by creating... well, when we do this one, we'll get an agency for free and an extra operative. This will give us some... support and political power and stability. These ones are this one is... We don't need to do this. Don't ever do it. This one is not good. Only do this if you're trying to get compliance in Ethiopia, which, why do you care? This one is okay. We will get it. We're going to do this at some point, actually. The new Emperor of Ethiopia is just some nice bonuses for stability and that, which is cool. This one is also pretty nice for some extra political power. Now, things like the Man of Providence and Live as a Lion, These all really just give you extra political power, give you some random like war support and stability bonuses here and there, but also just keep giving you bonuses in the balance of power towards Mussolini away from the Grand Council. Move toward okay, now we got this one, which is this one's actually pretty decent. Yeah, I would likely. Do you know what? No, I would choose this because it gives us more research slots, extra PP, and it gives us pretty much the same amount of consumer goods. Well, almost, well, like basically half. It still gives us a nice good amount of consumer goods production for basically 2 years, whereas this one gives us less political power. It gives us nice out of supply penalties for 10% and gives us minus 15% consumer goods factories factor for 2 years as well. This is pretty good as well. I'm going to pick this one for the building slot. So this one is pretty cool. Okay, just gives you some extra stability and fascism support. But these ones down here are actually really good. Obey, Fight, Believe gives us an extra 10% recoupable population factor. This one will give us an extra 5% resource gain efficiency and also production output. This one will increase our production efficiency retention by 10% and our production efficiency growth by 5%, as well as our efficiency base by 5%. This one gives us an extra operative slot and makes it impossible for Germany to assassinate Mussolini if they went alternate history in the German Empire. And then this, of course, gives us an extra slot as well for operatives. This gives us again a pretty cool spirit, recoupable population factor 15%, and then it just gives some sort of, it gives a variety of resistance modifiers. That's okay. Yeah, and the rest of these down here I wouldn't really do. The only bit of the focus tree now actually is the foreign affairs on the far right, which I forgot about a minute ago. So this is where we will do some stuff. So we'll do foreign affairs. We will do claims on Yugoslavia. We will likely do study the Spanish Civil War, and also at some point demand the Balearic Islands. We will do the Pact of Steel. This is actually pretty cool for us. If we do the Pact of Steel, we'll get a military factory construction speed of 10% and a factory output gain of 10% for an entire year. But it will remove Guido Jung as an advisor, sorry. And this will also be the alliance event. If we do this, which we will, we can demand Vichy. We can demand this bit from Vichy. Savoy, and it will unlock this, which will give us the 10% stability, which is cool. This will give us an extra 5% armor speed and land doctrine cost of 5%. This will give us extra armor research speed and rocket and nuclear speed, and this will give us a year ahead of time and 100% research bonus for heavy tank modules. And this is pretty good for our submarines. Seawolves, this will give a 100% research bonus for submarine modules and 2 cost reductions for the Doctrine. We will not be doing the guarantee Austrian independence because that's alternate history. We will instead be doing Albanian Occupation, Albanian Oil, support Albanian irredentism, and I think that's it, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. There's lots of also little stuff, like you can go down strengthen the regime, but these are all much later on sort of things, like proclaim Greater Italy. So yeah, so that's our focus tree. The first focus we're going to do is the Italian highways. Research slots. We start off with 4 and we get some pretty bad debuffs, but we're going to overcome those at some point. First research picks, we're going to pick electronic and mechanical engineering, and we're going to pick the basic machine tools as well as the construction one. We will also choose we are going to build, we're going to pick deck conversions as our first one, and we're going to research it with the submarine designer because it's the only one available for us. When it comes to, right, so our army, we're going to assign divisions, put them all in one army. What we're going to do is we're going to go down to here, select all divisions in northern Ethiopia, put them into one army, put this army's front line over Ethiopia, and have a front line go into Addis Ababa. Change the cohesion from flexible to balanced. Same thing on the bottom, grab those, make a front line over there, cohesion goes down, put both of these armies under a field marshal, put the field marshal to flexible. We're then going to give the Rodolfo Graziani Admiral, the Field Marshal, he's the Desert Fox. For these guys on the south, we are going to choose... We are going to pick... We're going to pick... who do we pick here? Let's pick him, Ezio Rosi.
Pronto, signore.
And then Mario Vezzioloni. Butchering these names. Our planes in Ethiopia, we will go ahead and select them. We will choose air superiority, then close air support, then logistic strike, and we will send them over this state here, the Ethiopian Highlands. Press S, and then select here in this region, whatever it is, Danakil, because it's two separate air regions. These ones on the bottom, we will pick a similar thing, close air support, logistic strikes, and we will select the bottom one, which is Ogaden. The rest of the planes, we will go ahead and delete, and we will put them on the market to sell. Or increase the price to high, and then we will do market options auto purchase. Our navy, we will go ahead and select every admiral slot and press G. Then we will go ahead and put all of the navies into one guy. And then we will put all of the navies into Lazio, not the Adriatic Sea. The Adriatic Sea, right, we are going to train the navy, but you see, the navy, if we did it in the Adriatic Sea, will have an extra 20% naval fuel consumption, which is going to be bad for us, because we get no fucking oil. Whereas the Tyrrhenian Sea is just a regular one, so we won't get that. Okay, as for armies, we're going to go ahead and put all the reinforcements, upgrades, supply trucks, and operations to high priority and garrisons on low priority. We're going to delete the Camel Corps, because who the fuck does that? We are then going to go to our production tab, and we are going to go scroll all the way down to the bottom and get rid of all of our planes. We're also going to get rid of the Serena class sub. Yeah, we're going to get rid of all the subs. We're going to fill up all the dockyards on our cruisers, our battleships, and our destroyers. We're going to assign the escort fleet to all the destroyers. We're going to assign the CRDA battle line fleet to the battle line, to the cruisers and the battleships. Then we are going to go and build. We're going to put one factory on trains. We're going to delete the factory on tanks. We're going to put... we already have two factories on trucks, never mind. We'll put one factory on anti-air. Actually, no. We're going to put 4 factories on support equipment. And we're going to put the rest of the... we're going to put 10 factories on guns. And then we're going to put the next 2 factories on artillery. And that is going to be our pick. For our industry, we are going to... let's see then. So this is going to add infrastructure in Lazio, Tuscany, so Lazio, Toscana, and Piedmont. Okay, so I think those are all the 8% ones, right? Okay, yeah, so it's going to add... it's going to make this 100%, 100%, this 100%, this 100%, and it's going to make this 80%. So we will just go ahead and build Yeah, we're just going to build some infrastructure ourselves. So we're going to build one in Campania. We will build... Let's see. We will build 2 there. And we will build... And we will build 2 here. And 2 there. So we're going to build just infrastructure for the first lot. After infrastructure, we are going to go ahead and queue. We're not going to build really any mills, because a lot of the focuses we're going to do are going to give us mills. So we're just going to go straight into creating dockyards. So we will build dockyards in these states. Infrastructure there as well. Yeah, so we're just going to build infrastructure in those states. And then dockyards in all these. And we're just only going to build dockyards. Okay, can we afford to build any new divisions? No, we cannot. So we will wait. And we will unpause the game. Should have done this before I unpaused it, but we will attack here, 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 and then try to go around. We will move this guy into there. These guys will rush in. These 2 will attack there. These 3 will attack here and kind of go through. These 2 are going to attack here to stop these guys moving into here. Okay, and we're going to unpause. We'll get the irregulars and... Oh, already got troops in there. Nice. We need to make sure that we abandon the treaties. Dude, he fell ill straight away, man. We need to abandon the treaties as soon as we get 25 political power.
Continuate l'attacco.
We push there with the infantry.
Forza, forza!
By any means necessary.
Continuate l'attacco. Pronto, signore.
Go to Gojam.
Vi respingiamo, signore.
Vi respingiamo, signore.
Pronto.
Support attack there. And we'll abandon the treaties. Success in northern Ethiopia.
Continuate l'attacco.
Was there ever any doubt?
Formazione. Forza, muovetevi. Continuate l'attacco.
Attack the southern bit. Go down.
Vi respingiamo, signore. Continuate l'attacco.
Italian highways done. We will then do railway innovations. In fact, if we now look at our infrastructure, yeah, 25% speed extra. Okay. Send an ultimatum to whatever the fuck this country is called again.
Fuoco nemico.
There we go, nice.
Continuate l'attacco. Avanzate. Pronto, signore.
Success in southern Ethiopia, and we will just go straight up to Addis Ababa.
Avanzate. Pronto. Sì, signore. Sì, signore. Formazione. Formazione. Avanzate.
Attack Addis Abba from as many directions as we can. Doesn't matter if we're losing this, we just want them to stop reinforcing in the battle.
Fuoco nemico! Pronto! Avanzate! Forza, forza! Continuate ad avanzare! Pronto, signore! Fuoco nemico! Formazione! Avanzate! Avanzate!
Just keep attacking and we're
Sì,
taking
signore.
Addis Abba.
Sì, signore!
Attack them.
Formazione!
Stop getting in. Get in there.
Formazione!
We'll have one division push down.
Pronto! Pronto!
Right, we'll just have him go around.
Sì, signore!
We'll just have these, all three of these now attack this capital bit,
signore.
and same thing with the.
Formazione!
We literally just need to take one more
Pronto.
city. Okay, so now we will research electromechanical computing.
Sì, signore! Avanzate!
Have them attack and then have them support.
Fuoco nemico!
Just keep sending them into battle.
Avanzate! Continuate l'attacco!
Okay.
Avanzate!
Have we not capped Ethiopia yet? That's insane. Okay, so I guess we just need to take one more city again.
Formazione! Forza, forza!
Investments in Edison.
Pronto! Avanzate! Pronto, signore! Pronto! Formazione! Formazione!
Excellent. $150 political power. Who are we gonna pick first? We'll do a captain of industry.
Forza, forza!
How on earth have we not won that battle yet?
Sì, signore! Sì, signore!
Okay,
Sì, signore.
nice.
Pronto!
Concentrated one. And captain of industry. Okay, Ethiopia peace deal. We are going to puppet all of Ethiopia. Puppet it, not annex it. Give ourselves war reparations, and then add resource rights. And good.
Sì, signore!
Now we're going to bring
Pronto,
all armies
signore!
back to Italy. And our extra mill, we are going to give ourselves an extra one more in support equipment. We're gonna... No, we're not gonna trade chromium. We are just gonna suffer, just eat through the penalty at the moment. Our air wings that are currently up, we can close those down. And now we can sell them off as well. Okay. Forgot to do it again. MIOs. So, what we're gonna do for MIOs is we're gonna go ahead and do this. Okay. For our escort fleet. Actually, sorry. We're gonna do that and that. For the submarine designer. And then for our aircraft, for Machi, we'll do that. Then we will do these. For our range focused one, we will do this. Range. Then we will do that. Then these two. Then we will do this. For Beretta, we will do this. No, we won't. We will do this. Like so. For the automotive designer, we will do this. Yeah. For artillery, we will do this, and then this. For all the sport equipment, we'll do this, that. Forgot to do that for the artillery. And the mechanized. Sorry, the infantry ones. Medium, yeah, we'll leave that as it is. Fast forward. We're going to pick state serves the military for 35 political power and bold attack +1. Probably should have done that while we're at war with Ethiopia, but oh well. We're going to pick this guy with adaptable and then logistics wizard. We're then going to research the we're going to research the all or nothing armor for heavy ships. Improved machine tools. And now we're going to train our navy as well. So we're going to combine the current ships we've built and assign the next ones there. We're then going to separate all submarines into their own fleet, and then we're just going to click train and then pause. Investments in Edison done. We're now going to research expand the national universities. Right, we have available dockyards. We are now going to... We're now going to build... what are the destroyers that we mainly have? What are the tier 2 ones? Navigator? Okay, right, so the Navigatory class cruisers, we will go... not cruisers, destroyers. In fact, no. No, we're just going to take the Spica class destroyer. In fact, no, let's not even do that. Right, we're going to make a new destroyer. So we're going to go to the empty 1936 destroyer hull, and we're going to just add on one gun, and we're just going to call it an Escort, and we're going to produce 40 there, and then we will produce another 20 here. Spanish Civil War. I would do Spanish Civil War normally, but I want to get through this video quickly, so I'm going to just simply not do the Spanish Civil War. I will then start training some extra armies. Let's train up 24. And we will go and do War Eco. We are going to actually cut back on some dockyards and we're going to make Civs in these states. We will also make a Civ here as well. So we will make 7 Civs total. Okay, we are going to research construction 2, and focus-wise we are going to do steel industry in Terni. We're going to research 1936 carrier hull. Then we will do concentrated 2 and synthetic oil experiments. War Industrialist. Anti-Comintern Pact. We will now do Ministry of Italian Africa. We will select a Air Force advisor. We will go with the air superiority one. And we're gonna go with super heavy battleship and research with CRDA. We're gonna add a Civ to the 1 Civ lines, and then we have other plans for the event. Develop Libya. We will research a wait, what was I gonna do actually? I've kind of forgotten now. We can do revolutionary mines. Industrialization, yeah. Okay, revolutionary mines. And we'll research fuel refining too. We'll now make some carriers. We're gonna do the cruiser armor that doesn't require steel. So cruiser armor 2, chromium, sorry. So cruiser armor 2. And we will add on as much hangar space as we can. In fact, tell you what we're gonna do instead is, we're not gonna do that, we're gonna wait until we get some more naval XP. Now we're going to do Petrolibya Society in Libya.
Pronto.
Add new armies into a new divisions into a new army. Integrated designers. For that extra naval XP, naval research speed. We're gonna research the ends. And we're gonna assign a. Fuck, we won't do that yet. Concentrated free. Computing machine. We're gonna research. We're gonna research Regia Aeronautica and Petrolibya. We're gonna do the Agip designer for fuel. Okay, so now we're getting along on fuel. We will go ahead and start researching some anti-air, producing some anti-air. Actually, no, take that back. We're gonna research. We're gonna put another factory on. We're gonna put up to 8 factories on support equipment. We're gonna research we're gonna research oil processing. Then we're gonna research finance Anic. And we are going to put on a army offense general, chief of army. We're going to put on battlefield support, and we're going to put on a. We're going to put on a naval aviation chief of navy. I'm going to put 2 more Civs on Veneto. We're going to disband Irregulars. And we're going to strengthen the northern industry. We're going to increase our dockyards. Now we're going to build our super heavy armor or battleship armor. Let's have a quick look at the naval designer again. All battleship. All battleship. Capital ship. Okay. I think we're gonna do battleship armor for our... Yeah, we're gonna do battleship armor instead of super heavy armor. The reason is because super heavy armor, it's technically not classed as a battleship in the game, so the battleship, wait, hang on a minute. Let's have a look at this again. Or battleship, okay. Gets more HP, doesn't it? I don't know actually. I don't know. Alright, we'll do super heavy. We'll do super heavy, and we will get rid of the designer. The designer will increase our production costs unnecessarily. We'll add on a super heavy gun Yeah. Yeah, so we'll just add on one super heavy gun and add on a bunch of anti-air. Anti-air. This will. Oh well. Okay, and this will be our super heavy battleship, and we will call this an empty super heavy battleship. And we will produce 2 lines of them for now. Okay, it's fuel refining 2. Alright, now we will research radio. And we will research a financial expert. Then we will research fuel refining 2. And Libyan Refineries. Train up some more units. Okay, the ends is done. We will now research. We'll now research improved small airframe with Machi. We will now research whatever the fuck that is. I don't know how you pronounce that. We'll top up our dockyards again. And now we will need to trade chromium. And we'll trade with Japan. We will trade. We'll put up another line of production and produce 6. And we will again trade one more with Japan. And we will accept that. Radio detection. Secular institutions. We'll get rid of a trade with Japan because they only offer 7 and we're minus in 1. We will now trade with... We'll trade with Greece. We'll trade with Greece again. Then we will design a carrier using the 2 armor. And we'll call... We'll just leave it at that. And we shall make... We'll make 3 lines of carriers. In fact, we'll make 5 carriers. No. We'll just do 4. We'll do 4 carriers. I was gonna go with this, but we'll stick with this, actually. Fleet and being. Okay. Then we'll do... We will do Po Valley's metallurgy, and we'll sign another. We'll sign another 2 to trucks, or 1 to trucks, and we'll assign 1 to artillery, and 2 more to support equipment. And we'll close down all our current airplanes. Actually. We are going to be quite low on steel, aren't we? And then we will trade steel with the German Reich. Ooh, that's hurt our industry a lot. We will now research engine 3. We want 750,000 manpower in the field. Not a problem, Mussolini. We will, in fact, we will now combine all existing divisions into 1 army.
Pronto, signore.
And we can't change them all because we have some locked, so we will find which division. Okay, the ones with M.
Pronto.
Okay, so it's just the one with M. We will
Pronto, signore.
put all the mountaineers into 1 division, into 1 army, and then we'll change these guys over to this.
Sì, signore.
We're going to put the artillery above. I'm going to trade 2 more with the Germans. Is there any more steel I can actually get that's worth it? Nope. Nah, just that. And we will do a... We'll do a fleet and being advisor. Amazing. Trade for less. We will now do... What are we gonna do? Yeah, we could do that. We can do resource efficiency. No, we're gonna do however you pronounce that. Okay. We're going to do air launch torpedoes. I'm going to do it with the range designer. Trade more steel. Need to trade more steel and one more chromium. We'll trade this one with Japan since we're pretty much done with these almost. Gonna put more on artillery. And we will do army primacy. Need to trade some more. We'll trade for tungsten with Japan. And we're gonna do industry liaisons. Then we're gonna do excavation 1. Giving away all our fucking steel, all our mills to Germany. Then we're gonna do extensive. Increased artillery production. Concentrated 2. Sorry, excavation 2. Trade for more steel. Advanced machine tools. No, actually. Improved air launch torpedoes.
Formazione.
This is only a temporary pain, don't worry. 4 carriers and 6 super heavy battleships.
Pronto, signore. Formazione.
Okay, we have spare dockyards. Now we're going to make some light cruisers, so we will close down all the old cruisers. Yeah. Right. Going to make some cruisers. And we'll put on the cheapest gun and a fire control. We'll call it an empty. Wait, isn't there a cruiser that has a tier 3 engine as Italy? No? Must be a destroyer then. I swear there's like a destroyer that has like a tier 3 engine. Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, tier 4 armor. Weakest gun. Basic fire control. Call it empty. And start producing. We'll produce 10. I'll put 2 more on guns. 2 more factories on guns. We'll do new industrialization program. We'll put on a capital ship expert. Construction free.
Pronto, signore.
150 days. We will increase the size of the divisions to 16 width. And train some more. They talk on national security, because the nub of the whole purpose of your president is to keep you now, your children later. We'll build one infrastructure there, and then we're gonna build some aluminium.
And of all the things that American independence means
For you, me, and our.
never before since Jamestown and Plymouth Rock has our American civilization been in such danger as now. The Nazi masters of Germany
Advanced machine tools.
intend not only to dominate all life and thought in
Oil
their own
decision.
country, but also to enslave the whole of Europe. and
Okay.
to use
Range
the
improvements.
resources of Europe to dominate the rest of the world. In view of the nature of the threat, it can be asserted properly and categorically that the United States has no right or reason to encourage talk of peace until the day shall come when there is a clear intention on the part of the aggressor nations to abandon all thought of dominating or conquering the world. The forces of the states that are leagued against all people who live in freedom are being held away from our shores. The Germans and Italians are being blocked on the other side of the Atlantic by the British and by the Greeks and by thousands of soldiers and sailors who are able to escape from subjugated countries. The Japanese are being engaged in China, in Asia, by the Chinese nation in another great defense. In the Pacific Ocean,
We will queue up
is our
2 more carriers.
a gun loaded with explosive bullets, economic.
Actually, no, we're not. We're gonna get rid of those. And we're going to... We're gonna make some more cruisers. 10 more.
Frankly and definitely, there is danger ahead.
And then we will make...
Danger against which
we
must prepare.
We're gonna make some mills.
We cannot escape danger or the fear of it by crawling into bed and pulling the covers over our heads. Germany has said that she was occupying Belgium to save the Belgians from the British.
We will then research.
To say to any South American country,
Anti-upgrade 1.
you to protect you from aggression by the Belgium is being used.
Now we're gonna swap over to cultural norms. Cultural norms.
Fighting for its life. And any South American country in Nazi hands would always constitute a jumping off place for German
Trade less with the Germans.
on any one of the other republics of this hemisphere. We think of Hawaii as an outpost of defense in the Pacific.
And then rubber plant.
The Azores are closer to our shores in the Atlantic than Hawaii is on the other side.
We're gonna research passive sonar.
There are those who say that the Axis powers would never have any
And then
desire
design
to attack the Western Hemisphere.
carrier
This
plane.
is the same dangerous form of wishful thinking which has destroyed the powers of resistance of so many conquered peoples. Let us no longer blind ourselves to the undeniable fact that the evil forces which have crushed, undermined, and corrupted so many others are already within our own gate.
We're gonna call it the Flying Spigat.
Today is ferreting
Spigat, yeah, we'll just call it that.
Their secret emissaries are active in our own
And we will give this 5
They seek
factories.
to stir up suspicion and dissent,
And
cause internal
yeah, we'll leave
strife.
that as it is.
They try to
Then we will research a fighter plane.
vice versa. They try to reawaken long slumbering racial and religious enmity, which should have no place in this country. And there are also American citizens, many of them in high places, who unwittingly, in most cases,
5 factories on this
are
as well.
aiding and abetting
We'll do 6 on that and 4 on
these
this.
agents. I do not charge these American citizens with being,
And then we will design the regular fighter.
but I do charge them with doing exactly the kind of work that the dictator wants done in the United States. The
And we will
experience
change it, make a CAS plane as well.
that no nation can appease the Nazi. No man can tame a tiger into a kitten. by stroking it. There can be no appeasement with ruthlessness.
And we will change.
There can be no reasoning.
We'll make a quick. We'll make one with the cheapest guns possible and photo camera. Give it the range one. Change that and then make this the camera. Okay, nice. So now we're gonna make 20 factories on that. We'll make 10 factories on that. And we'll make 2 on this. We're going to make this guy. We're gonna make a infantry guy, and we will make anti-air 2. We'll research anti-air 2. Intel. I'm going to build up intel in Egypt. And we will make a cryptology department. We are going to research Culto del Duce. Okay, now we're about a year away from war. So now I'm going to start organizing my divisions a bit more. So we're going to get rid of 3 from that and put them in there.
Sì, signore. Pronto. Formazione.
Someone touch my spaghetti.
Sì, signore. Pronto. 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 Sì, signore. Pronto. Sì, signore. Pronto, signore. Pronto.
Okay, and we're going to make another army. Research excavation 3 and active sonar. And radio detection, and then we're going to decipher the British. And we're going to put another spy in Egypt. Once this carrier, okay, and then we're going to research. Now we are going to research an improved fire control system. And when this carrier is done, we're going to adjust our trades again. Boom, goodbye. And goodbye. Right. Now we're going to build... not... In fact... Yeah, we're going to build some convoys and wait until our researches are done. As for our infantry divisions, we will
Si, signore.
can we make these guys all mountaineers? We can. Okay, we can't increase that. Where is it that Mountaineers contribution? Yeah, we'll unlock Elevate the Mountaineers. And we will do a bit of that.
Formazione.
And we will go to the Mountaineers. Wow, we still can't do that really. We'll research concentrated fort. Actually, no, we're gonna research some better guns. Let's do this for 35 days. Alright, now we're going to need to switch this over to refit yards. And depth charge thrower. Okay, now we are going to go and get back our cruiser that our destroyer, sorry, that we got rid of, our escort one. We're going to put on our active sonar, anti-air, and then a depth charge. Escort. In fact, we'll... Oh, what have I done? Alright, we'll have that back on, anti-air, depth charge, anti-air again, sonar, and what we will do is we'll go to our escorts and we will retrofit them and delete our convoy production. We're then going to research armor piercing capped medium. Actually no, we're gonna do the improved light battery again. And we're going to change up our designer to be space efficient design. We're going to adjust this design again, so this is first. Okay. And that's all we're going to do for that, to be honest, because we can't really afford to lose out on the mills and that. Fire control system. Now we're going to research decimetric radar. Foreign Affairs. We'll need to produce some anti-air at some point, so we'll put 7 factories on that. And we'll put that beneath all the planes. And we'll rely on the Germans to supply it. Okay, then we're gonna go and research Dispersed 4. I'm gonna go give the Germans some rubber refineries because Germany would actually, at this point in the game, Germany's gonna have so much rubber, almost always, that it basically, I think it's justified to give it some rubber refineries because it would, I would make about that much by now, or close to anyway. I will also produce a couple of mine, so I'm not giving away more and more factories, but again, I think what I would do is, yeah, I'd trade 1 for Germany. I'd trade my initial rubber for Germany until I get my these mills done, then I'd make some of my own and continue making mills. Okay, now we're going to research the armor cap. Actually, no, we're going to research marines. I'm going to put 2 rubber refineries there. Claims on Yugoslavia. Okay, we'll research artillery upgrade. And that's a new army built.
Pronto, signore.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is make these guys an African army.
Pronto.
So we'll have 24 controlling controlling that. We'll have another 24 over here.
Pronto.
We'll have these guys defending islands.
Pronto.
Tell you what, might make more sense if we kind of do it like this. This is a southern Italy army.
Si, signore.
This is a
Si, signore.
another southern Italy army.
Pronto, signore.
This is a northern Italian army. Yeah, kind of like that.
Si, signore.
These guys can go be island defenders, pretty much. In fact, we'll take half of them off,
Pronto.
and they can they can go with this guy.
Formazione.
Then they can go with him. And they can go here. And then these guys, so that's what, 13? So 11. Yeah, they can go ahead and
Pronto,
make
signore.
424. We're not going to join the German faction, we're going to wait till we get the Pact of Steel, because we need that factory bonuses. Dual purpose. Can we make any resources? Yeah, we can make some aluminium here. Okay, we're what we're gonna do is we're gonna get all the empty cruisers and battleships, and we're gonna send them out and have them train up, shift train. And then we're going to do up the battle fleet. Nice chunky division. Doctrine. Okay, we don't need to trade chromium anymore. And then we will do Albanian Occupation. In fact, we won't do that yet. We'll do Pact of Steel first so we can get the bonuses for factory output. We'll research Engineer Company 2. Yeah. We'll make some more mills. We'll put the rubber down. We'll do the naval power projection. Super heavy battleships, we will put them in the same fleet again. And the cruisers. You're a fucking absolute twat, Greece. So it's August.
Sì, signore.
I'm gonna train these divisions.
Formazione. Pronto, signore.
Okay. now what we're gonna do is go to our carriers, put on the designer, the dual purpose, and the radar, and we're going to refit the carriers. Budget is fine as it is. I'm gonna rush down to stockpiling fuel. And then we're gonna do the Albanian Occupation. Okay, we have 3 dockyards, so what we're gonna do is... Bum, 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 bum. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our super heavy battleships. And we're going to retrofit them. And put on, yeah, so we're gonna retrofit them with this. And the AA. And the even better fire control system. And then what we're gonna do is retrofit those bad boys. It's gonna take us a long time to do that. Tell you what, we're gonna take 2. We're gonna take them off that so we can get it done quicker. I trade chromium with Japan so that we can get more of it. Start researching some better infantry stuff. And business interests. Radar 2 or 3. And we will go to our cruiser. In fact, we're gonna research better guns, and we will just retrofit we'll re-retrofit the destroyers. No, we won't actually. What are we gonna do here? We'll build some more convoys in the meantime. Actually, no. Oh yeah, actually, because our convoys are fucking super low. Look at that.
I am speaking to you in the cabinet room at 10 Downing Street. This morning, the British ambassador in Berlin handed the German government a final note stating that unless we heard from them by 11 o'clock, they were prepared at once.
We're gonna join the war at probably March at the latest.
I have to tell you now.
Yeah, radar 2.
and that consequently this country is at war with Germany. You can imagine what a bitter blow it is that all my long struggle to win peace has failed.
Go ahead and do a quartermaster.
If there is anything more,
Formazione!
anything different that I could have done, and it would have been more successful.
Sì, signore!
Up to the very last,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
it would have been
Formazione!
possible to have arranged a peaceful and honorable
Formazione!
settlement between Germany and Poland.
There we go.
But Hitler would not have it.
Formazione!
He had evidently made up his mind to attack Poland whatever happened. And although he now says he put forward reasonable proposals which were rejected by the Poles, that is not a true statement. The proposals were never shown to the Poles, nor to us. And though they were announced in the German broadcast on Thursday night, Hitler did not wait to hear comments on them, nor did his troops to cross the Polish frontier the next morning. His action shows convincingly that there is no chance of expecting that this man will ever give up his practice of using force to gain his will. He can only be stopped by force. And we in France are today, in fulfillment of our obligations, going to the aid of Poland, who is so bravely resisting this wicked and unprovoked attack on
We'll
her.
train 12 Marine divisions.
We have done all that any country could do to establish peace.
And we will research that.
A situation in which no word given by Germany's ruler could be trusted, and no people or country could feel itself safe, becomes intolerable. And now that we have resolved to finish it, I know that you will all play your part with calmness and courage.
Okay. So we've done stockpiling fuel. We are now going to do Albanian Occupation. I've been putting this off for a while. Yeah, just in time. Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and stop training the main navy. And what we're gonna do is split off a bunch of destroyers. We're gonna give the guy an admiral. Oh, excuse me. He's gonna be he's gonna be our screening guy, so we will select him. He's gonna be our supply runner. This guy's gonna be our main general, admiral. Oh, this guy is actually. Or this one. Gentlemanly's good, but so is that. Both are good, honestly. Oh yeah, we get bolt to 2 randoms. Okay, yeah, so this guy can get bolt then. Our old guy. Okay, so we still need to take away some ships from here. So we will go ahead and take away. Oh, that's way too many. Where is it? Oh yeah, way too much. Oh, never mind, we're good on that. We actually need to put some more back into that. Let's put 39 back in. And then we will take away 2 more. And there we go. So this is our old admiral. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll get rid of this line of production. This is our empty cruiser. We'll put that in there. And this all is our escort, so we'll get rid of that. Boom. This is our subfleet. We'll give this guy the Sea Wolf, Silent Hunter, Torpedo Expert. And this is going to be our actual main guy, so we will go ahead and do this. We'll start queuing up some oil, some fuel silos now, because we got the fuel silo thing, haven't we? Ba, 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 da, 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 da. Boom. Now we're going to do these protocols. Give our buddy Germany's 5% extra factory output, and give ourselves 20 what was it we give? Oh yeah, 10% base stability. Okay, we can leave this off at 16 factories a day for now. And we'll go ahead and do policies. Let's go back to our carriers and let's delete the current air wings. And we'll go ahead and we'll put the 90 fighters on the top one. And then the rest we will do the naval bombers. So that's 90 naval bombers each. Okay, so we need to do 3 more air wings for the last one. Actually need to do another rubber refinery up there, so we'll leave that. Okay. Honestly, who cares? Why did they do that again? Yeah, they're not really supposed to do that, actually. So, Yeah, I don't really know if they're supposed to do that. Okay. Then we'll research the artillery 2. And then eventually radar 4. We're still not going to join the war, so now we will do preserve army traditions. We don't need to trade as much, so we can get rid of that. Now we also don't need that, so that's good. Oh yeah, forgot about that. We'll put the intel on, leave it on 100.
Pronto, signore.
Okay, that's our super heavy battleships upgraded. And then we will retrofit our light cruisers. Like so, and we will retrofit these ones. Took a little bit of time to do. Okay, we'll assign some generals. So for our mountaineers, we will look for a mountaineer general. Mountaineer, yeah, we'll pick him. So for the ones in Africa, we will pick. We'll pick this guy. We'll pick this guy for. Actually, no. We'll pick this guy for Africa. No. What am I talking about? We'll pick the better general for Africa, which would be the best general for Africa, which is going to be this guy. We'll make him an ambusher.
Si, signore.
For the guys holding in Africa, we will choose. We'll choose him.
Pronto, signore.
For the guys in Italy, we'll pick
Pronto,
him.
signore.
And for these guys, we will pick him.
Formazione.
And then for him, we will choose we'll choose this guy,
Sì, signore.
and then these guys will choose this guy. And for
Pronto,
this
signore.
field marshal, we will choose this dude. Give him unyielding defender.
Formazione.
Make the support and motorization priority the highest it can be.
Sì, signore.
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 bum, ba-da, 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 da, 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 da. Bum, da, 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 da. We're gonna choose the Naval AA guy at first, and then we can change him later on to something else. We'll go ahead and upgrade that. We'll check our MIOs once more, see which ones need leveling up. None. We're going to leave our artillery as it is, and because we haven't got that big of a stockpile and we've built up the efficiency, so we will leave it. Check out the Air Force.
Pronto, signore.
Okay, the Marines are done. Now we will
Formazione.
go ahead and give them... Is there anyone who's a brilliant strategist at all? We'll give them this guy.
They tried hard.
Down
They
here.
were beaten back. They were frustrated in their task. We got the army away, and they have paid fourfold,
And we'll make this a logistics focus.
which they have inflicted.
Go ahead, grand assault. Okay, business interest done. Now we're gonna research cost plus for that 10% extra factory output.
Overseas attack.
And we're gonna continue to build up these fuel silos to increase our fuel. Okay, we are getting super late now into the war, so we aren't gonna join until France, at least France has fell, you see. So that's why we're waiting. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna split.
Of armored vehicles. May it not also be that the core of civilization itself will be
We're going to split these into groups of 20,
over 2,000 airmen,
and might as well train them up.
I suppose. In all the world,
Actually, no, we're not going to train them up. We're going to train up the main fleet still.
opportunity for use. The Knights of the Round Table, the Crusaders, all fall back into the past.
We will...
But prosaic. These young men going forth every morn to guard their native land and all that we stand for, holding in their hands
We will now go ahead and...
colossal and shattering power.
Italian irredentism.
Maybe said that every morn brought forth
Formazione.
every
Okay, so we got tier 3 radar. Now we can research improved computing machine.
deserve our gratitude to all the brave men in so many ways and on so many occasions.
I don't know why this has happened. That doesn't make any sense.
Mr. Speaker, the disastrous military events which have happened during the past fortnight have not come to me with any sense of surprise. Indeed, I indicated a fortnight ago, as clearly as I could to the House, that the
By this point, the Germans would have
I made it perfectly clear that whatever
either did the synthetic refinery
to the result
focus, which gives them an extra 2
if necessary,
per
if necessary alone.
which gives them an extra 2 rubber per synthetic refineries, and they would have built more, which means that our which their trades for rubber would be higher, which would be able to do this. Okay, I think that's enough oil stockpile, so we'll go ahead and cancel them. We'll continue to do this. And we will put a... Do we have a British? No, we do not. Okay, nice. We'll go ahead and pick one of these guys anyway. And we'll put him in London. We will also build, at this point, a radar station in Sicily. Okay, I think that's enough. I want to get as much oil as we can before we go to war. Beretta, we can... Oh, they're already level 6, never mind. Okay, so now at this point, this navy will go on strike force and would be in the Med. We will have this navy... We'll put this navy in Piedmont and Giona, up there. We'll have this submarine fleet over here. We'll have this submarine fleet over here. And this one up here. The escorts, we'll have... We will put 20 up there, 20 up there, and we'll do another... We'll put more there as well. These are... What we'll do with these guys is we'll split them in half, and we'll put them under a... Where is it? Where's the spotter guy? Was it this guy that we were going to make the spotter? Okay. Yeah, we'll make this guy a spotter. And we'll just simply have both of these on patrol. And our actual main fleet, once that is done, we will put this far up. So, like up here, for example. Actually, Okay, there's two ways we can look at it. We can put it up here so that it's further out of the way of the British Air Force, right? But it will be it'll take more time for us to get into reinforced battles. So we can put it closer, which means we can get into battles quicker. But it will mean that they'll be under British Air Force a lot more often, so they'll be getting bombed by the airplanes, by the British Air Force and naval support strikes a lot more often. So you have to kind of consider which one is more worth it doing. Is it more worth? Can you get enough air supremacy with the German Air Force and your own to stop the British from port striking you? If you can, put it down here. If you can't, then you probably want to put it further up into one of the further up ones. I'm gonna put my one down in Sicily though, because I should have enough. Okay, I only have 500, but I am producing one a day. And then obviously the Germans too will be able to have their own. And I will continue to, and I also have air radar stations as well, giving me an advantage. So both of those factors combined can make for a potent what can I say? Like a potent air force denying the enemy, denying the British the ability to port strike you. At this point, your navy's pretty much set up. I mean, we are simply waiting on the rest of our cruisers to finish retrofitting, which take about to July-ish. And then we can just make, in fact, tell you what, we can put these cruisers in, these destroyers in this actually, to bump up the screening. Yeah, okay, yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we could do that. So 6 super heavy battleships, 4 carriers, about 20 light cruisers, and then the rest we can throw on destroyers. That'll be a pretty potent, we're gonna do fuel refining 4, and we will research. We're gonna research submarines 1940. Yeah, so that'll be it. That is actually a pretty potent fleet. We can probably put more light cruisers in it. Or alternatively, we could have done less super heavy battleship, not done lots super heavy battleships, and actually did like around 12 regular battleships for 1936 ones, and we would have been able to absolutely dominate in the med. We'd obviously continuously retrofit, like when we get the new fire control and better radar, we'd retrofit them. It'd be super cheap for us to do it. We've got the main guns and the armor and that on, so that's actually fine now. Like the main expense of the super heavy battleships is completely paid off. As for the carriers, similar thing, maybe better dual purpose or this, but that's about it really. We're not going to change the armor. The cruisers, it's a similar story. We'd get better radar, better dual purpose, better fire control, and when we get tier 4 AA, we'll put the AA guns on there. At this point we could continuously keep making more cruisers. We'll probably make a spotting cruiser as well, so we can actually find the British fleet. Our Air Force that we've actually made. So our Air Force is we're producing a lot of fighters per day, and combined with the Germans, we'll be able to dominate the Mediterranean in terms of air power, denying the British the ability to port strike you. You will be making some of your own casts, so you don't have to rely on the German ones. You don't need to put as many factories on casts though. Yeah, we're only getting started, so like our own, basically we'll be self-sufficient on CAS in about a year's time, so just in time for Bob, so the German Air Force CAS can go away. We don't actually really need to make NAVs because we're making naval bombers with our carrier ones, so what we can do is we can go to our airports and we can actually just deploy our aircraft carrier ones. Which have decent and almost entire range over entire sea zones, so we can just naval bomb our own like this with our own planes. If we want to, at some point in the war, we can maybe put like 10 fighters on an improved medium frame and make some medium naval bombers instead. Our army is quite weak in the sense that our divisions aren't big and we don't even have support anti-air. We can rely on, yeah, if I was to put support anti-air into all my divisions, how much would that take? That would take 3,000 anti-air. See, we could get the Germans to lend-lease us about 4,000, potentially, when we enter the war. So we don't actually need to have, we don't need to entirely make our own just yet. Although as the war goes on, we are running out of building slots, but when we get this, and then eventually after cost plus we get this, we'll be able to fill up the rest of our building slots with mills, and that'll be plenty of military factories for us. We still haven't even touched here or here because they usually get naval invaded. Same thing with up here in these factories, and then when we go to war with Yugoslavia and Greece and that, which we will do when we're comfortable, we'll have more building slots there as well. So realistically, in the future, our production line is going to look like about 10 to 12 anti-air, probably stick with 10 on CAS. We'll probably be bumped up to like 14 on support equipment, 3 on trains, or 2 to 3 on trains. We'll probably end up going 5 on trucks. This will probably keep 1 or 2. Fighters will eventually bump up to like around 30 or keep it at 20, 24, something like that. Our carrier bomb planes will keep like this. We could increase the carrier planes to like 15 or 10 if it were 12, 14, something like that, if we're going to keep on using these to naval bomb the Mediterranean. Otherwise, we'll keep this. We'll actually probably bring this down to like 4 or 5 if we want to go ahead and make some dedicated medium ones to do medium naval bombers to dominate the Med with the range designer. So that is entirely possible. We could get a production line of that going up before 41 and continue that into so and so. Our artillery, we will probably bump that up to around about 10 as well and change it over. We'll either change over to the 1939 artillery 2 once we finish this, which would take 2 more focuses because this gives retention, and then also if we did these 3 focuses and got this retention as well, and then because then we'd have 30% retention because we're on concentrate, you see, to bump it over. So we could get that pretty nicely. We could change guns now. Actually, 80,000's okay for what we're at. So yeah, we could swap that over now. You don't really want to change guns until you're around about 100,000, and you're not planning on making no more like massive big divisions and things like that. We have our marine divisions out. We simply just need to get enough XP from naval and all that so that we can increase the size of our divisions with the XP, or we could swap over our mountaineers into our regular infantry, and then that would free up special forces capacity, and then we can bump up our marines. We all want to take out Malta as soon as we can, and Cyprus once we take out Greece, and try to, with the German tanks, push through to Cairo. You just want to make sure that your destroyers are engaged on low risk, and then have your like main battle fleets obviously engage on medium risk. You just want to make it. You just want to keep this fuel going back and forth. We've got a big stockpile of fuel, 1.3. Sorry, we've got 1 million fuel saved up already, and we haven't even joined the war yet. We probably won't for another couple of months actually, or maybe in the next month once these cruises are done. So yeah, I mean, and then we'll just not too far from now we'll start building some 1940 submarines and set them to highly aggressive in the Med, and they can kind of hunt down the British fleet for us as well. We could also then at some point, if we really wanted to, research 1940 carriers and 40 battleships and cruisers and make up another 1940 fleet, which if the game goes on to like 1944, that's then when it will probably be up. So yeah, there's quite a few ways you can do this. That's Italy, a way of doing Italy anyway. You're going to need to put divisions on every tile because the British are likely just going to naval invade you a lot. I wouldn't, unless you completely dominate the British fleet, I wouldn't take these divisions off of the tiles, and that's partly the reason why they're 16 width as well. It's because they are easier to mass produce and cheaper, so because you've got loads of coastal tiles to try and do up. Like if the British, for example, made marines and then put on the commandos, these guys when they land on, commandos can land on any tile. When they land, they'll damage infrastructure in the entire state, and then they'll be able to immediately they can retreat off of the coast of any tile. They don't need a port to leave, so that's why you want to have divisions on every tile. We'll want to put AA into our divisions, and we won't really want to push in Africa until we have the German tanks doing it. You just want one army to kind of support the Germans as you push up. Like half of it will probably fill up the tiles on the coast, and then the other half will support it in the front line. You'd want to build probably another supply hub around here, and build up your railways as well. Maybe a radar and some air bases further up, but that's something between you and Germany to do. When it comes for Barbarossa, your role as Italy is to help garrison the Atlantic Wall, but also help control the Med. If the Med is going completely in your favor, you've taken Gibraltar, you've pushed through to Africa and pushing down, and you're pushing into Iraq, like, you're doing great. You can take divisions away from your home country pretty much, and you can push outward and start affecting the British elsewhere. But if you are sorry if you're struggling in the Med and it's still contested, like back and forth, or hasn't really changed much, then just keep focusing on the Med. If you are losing the Med quite badly, then you can't really afford to do the help on the Atlantic Wall. You actually kind of need to focus on defending yourself and trying to reclaim this back. Winning the air is going to be massive for Italy. There is the UK strategy will most likely, if they actually have a really good strategy, it will be most likely to strategic bomb and port strike your navy while it's in port, before with its air superiority with its air bases from Malta, without even needing to actually fight your navy. So you just need to be careful of that. Realistically, taking Malta is such a huge priority for the UK, and then as well taking Cyprus, Greece, and Gibraltar. So once you've taken Gibraltar out, you can start pushing. You can actually go into the Atlantic with your navy and break out. It is entirely possible, though, that the Germans can also can help naval invade from the other side. Like the British fleet might be like in Alexandria or in Gibraltar itself, and it might be strike forcing on these, given naval supremacy in the Med. But the chances that the British Navy is also strike force in Bay of Biscay and Iberian coast is a lot less likely. They'll most likely be strike force in the western approaches, English Channel, and then the North Sea. So the German Navy could get to Brest and naval invade round with Marines into here. So that could happen. So yeah, that's Italy. That is Italy somewhat.